Bill from Evernote, and we're going to talk a little bit about WWDC, what's going on with Evernote, what might be coming up. So, were you guys in the keynote?
I stood outside for about an hour and a half and was like one of the last groups to be let into the main room.
Okay.
So that was pretty exciting.
So what'd you walk away with? What was on your mind?
The biggest thing I'm excited about is the new iPhone. The video, and there's a lot of things actually that they're going to add that will make it into the Evernote app, like being able to have maps in the application. It's going to be really cool. Capturing video, putting that in Evernote, I think that'll be really cool.
I'm really psyched about the compass, like irrationally, but like I don't know why. I think it would be so awesome.
Yeah.
The compass, because like I want that to be in Evernote. I want it to be like, like in MASH. I'm sort of showing my age here, but like in MASH, they always had that sign with all of the cities like in different directions. So like I want that to be a view of Evernote, and it'll just have a little wooden sign, and it'll have like titles of your notes, and it'll show you like, okay, like that note was like 3,000 miles that way, and this other note was like 84 feet this way. And like as you walk around, it'll sort of turn. It'll be like completely useless.
Oh, the other awesome thing is the camera with the autofocus and the macro. That's going to be
for
fantastic.
Evernote. That's by far the best.
Yeah,
the real focus. Yeah, that was frankly the only way that the current generation iPhone was not better than just about anything else in the market for us was the camera.
Right.
So the fact that like so many other phones that aren't nearly as good in any other way just have a real camera, and the iPhone didn't. And by real, I don't even mean negative, I mean focus.
Yeah.
So like just putting in a focus camera like that immediately makes us on the iPhone like a big deal. So
yeah.
well, there's a bunch of stuff in the SDKs, but I mean we already knew about all of those from when they announced the TUAW SDK. But Andrew can talk about that in much more detail, but we're reusing a lot more of the Mac desktop code in our iPhone 3.0 version, just because the SDKs let us do that, core data and stuff like
Right.
that. So
Now they're bringing core data over to the iPhone, which will be nice because that's what we use on the desktop.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to start sharing a lot more code. The sync code, we'll be able to start sharing more of that.
Yeah. So like a lot more of your stuff will be local now. Will be synced on the iPhone, so it'll feel a lot more like a real app, and not just something that's going out to the server every time. So everything is a lot faster. It'll be sweet. But that's
they're bringing the core location over from the iPhone, so that'll be cool because then we'll be able to like geotag notes that you make on the desktop. So if you're wandering around with a laptop, I think that would be useful. I just sit it at my desk, so it's not so useful for me. But
yeah, but I mean that's like a big part of our vision has always been to add location to everything, to all of your notes. And right now we primarily just do it with notes that you take on your phone. But we'll be doing it for all the desktop clients, and Snow Leopard will make that almost trivial.
Yeah.
So because the idea is like even if the memory doesn't have anything to do with the location, like if I remember I remember I woke up in the middle of the night and I had this great idea, and I went to my laptop and I wrote it down. I forget what the idea was, but I remember I was in some hotel in Vegas when it happened. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that I was in Vegas, but that's the trigger that I used to remember it.
It doesn't stay in Vegas?
No, and if it goes into Evernote,
it comes out of Vegas.
It comes out of Vegas. It's a big change. So there's a bunch of stuff over the next few months that are just going to continue to come out on the Mac client. That's the main thing that Andrew's in charge of. And we've probably revved that more often than any other client.
Let me ask you about data portability. Your recent builds have had a much better export, especially for attachments.
Mm-hmm. The HTML export?
Yeah, HTML export, and then I believe that I did save a PDF straight from Evernote to my desktop and came out with PDF instead of an XML file, which I greatly appreciated. Are we moving any more in that direction?
To be clear, we have absolutely no intention of keeping people's data captive. That's just not, that wouldn't work.
Yeah. The fundamental principle is it's your data, it's your memories. We want you to be able to get it in and out of Evernote.
Right. One of the original founders of Evernote, this guy Stepan, he grew up in communist Russia, and he's like, I don't want to live in a country that I can't leave. So it's kind of analogous to that. I mean, it's just not something we want to,
So you don't want to use an application that you're not fully comfortable being able to get out of.
Right.
I guess that's. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. I mean, the XML export is actually pretty good. It's plain text XML, so all the data's there. It's all readable, and
it's documented.
It's all in a documented format. So that's actually the best way to export your data. Is even though it's in XML, it preserves all of the note metadata. It preserves the encrypted data with your password hint, and for anyone with a little bit of technical skill, it's pretty easy to massage that into basically any format you want. And so that was sort of our intention with doing that first. And people kind of freaked out a little bit because it does require a little bit of technical skill. So we started adding the HTML. We want to add a big one that we get requested on the Mac is the RTF. So we want to do that. We actually got a request for plain text, which makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of extra stuff you can put in a note, like audio and images, and so you lose a little bit with some of the different formats. But
Right. I do a lot with PDFs.
Yeah.
And I love the new Safari shift click. Saves
yeah, I use that all the time, actually.
Excellent. But then those PDFs, I mean, if I remember correctly.
That was my idea.
No, that was so my idea.
That was my idea.
I thought of it earlier. I just didn't say
But
it.
I forced you to put it in.
Yeah. Phil has a lot of control over what gets bumped to the top of the to-do list. So.
Okay. I just remember at one point I had to email the note to myself to get the PDF out of it.
Yeah.
And at first there was an Evernote kind of watermark,
Right.
on it, and then that went away. And now I can save those to my desktop.
Yeah, it's definitely not intentional that you have to do that. So.
Yeah. Well, and now I guess you can also, as of the latest release, you can get audio back out as an audio file because we sort of changed the way that's handled. So that's an attachment now, and you can quick look it. So basically, when you put in the quick look stuff, we made that a lot easier.
Yeah, we were using like the just the QuickTime embed for the audio, and so it ends up like you end up getting the pop-up menu that says like upgrade to QuickTime Pro to save this to disk. And it's like, oh, whoops. So so that's now displayed as a file attachment, so you can just drag it out. You can right-click it to open it in another application, and you can just quick look it to play it. So,
Cool.
And of course, there's also the full API, client-side scriptable as well as server-side. So, and with a little bit of technical skills, you can get anything in and out of Evernote. It's totally open, and
and we will make it easier for non-technical people as we go.